Hello. Today I'm going to talk about my number one approach on how we as parents can figure out what our teens really need. Now, when someone asks me what do teens really need, my cliche answer will be they just need love. Now, of course, it gets a bit more complicated than that. We live in a modern world, we lead diverse and complex lives. And there are some days that, at least from my point of view, I'm a parent of four. I've got two teens, one preteen, and my youngest is 7 as I record this. I sometimes feel overwhelmed. I feel that there are so many demands on me, that my kids have so many needs. And I sometimes feel inadequate. Um, if I beat myself up, I can quickly go into guilt and shames. So when I given that answer, they just need love, I do feel overwhelmed again and like I don't know where to start. So if you're a parent and you're feeling the same right now, let me share with you how I bring myself out of this feeling of overwhelm and inadequacy. With so much advice and resources out there, parenting can become overcomplicated. That's what I think. And personally, there was a time in my parenting journey where I used to read all the books and listen to all the podcasts and take courses and invest in learning things. And what happened is that I found myself at some point reaching information overload and not really implementing what I was learning. I was just overwhelmed. And since then, I've learned to slow down, to take time to learn and to check things out and go deep into them and see which one is aligned and which is not aligned, and really take my time in putting the advice that I received into practice and implementing it and see if it actually suits me and my family's need. Now, I sort of started running into another problem, though, um, when you take your time and then you realize that your kids are growing up too fast. And it seemed for me that I just couldn't keep up. My kids were just growing up too fast. And I really had to be very intentional when I was doing research or gathering knowledge and learning parenting tips. What was more important was that I also had to resort to my own inner guidance, my, my inner wisdom, my intuition as a mom. And what I do now is that I still do research, I still look things up. You can never stop learning. But I also give time to pausing and sitting down and connecting to my inner wisdom. And when I ask myself, okay, how do I know what my kids really need right now? I take advice from my own inner wisdom, my intuition, and usually that leads me down. It takes me to Mother Nature again, and Mother Earth. And I see this image of little tree, a sapling, which is not too small, but also not fully formed. And it's the analogy that my teens are little saplings. And the main things that tree saplings need to grow are, number one, the earth, holding them steady and nurturing them with rich soil and clean water. Number two, sunlight, giving them energy and fuel. And number three, the air around them, giving them space. And these three things translate into three main, let's call them buckets, three main buckets in my parenting. The first bucket is my kids' holistic well-being. So the earth, the nurturing soil, it stands for holistic well-being. This is how my kids are doing on all levels. Their well-being on a physical, mental, emotional, on a holistic level. And their well-being is important because it determines their healthy development, their healthy growth, and this impacts their capacity to manage life at all levels. Now, the second bucket, it's my kids' authentic identity. In the analogy of the tree saplings, so the sunlight now stands for their authentic identity. This is who they are becoming. It's their uniqueness as whole people. It's their soul calling, pulling them upwards, their gifts, their big dreams, lifting them up to the sky, just like the sunlight lifts the tree branches up towards the sky. And the third bucket, which is the air surrounding the tree, the third bucket in my parenting is my kids' aligned community. It's how their surroundings, their environment is actually supporting them. And the environment is made up of the physical space, of course, the home, the basic needs, the shelter, but it's also formed of their community, the people around them. And it includes myself, their dad, the parents. Oh, and it includes the immediate family, the extended family, the neighborhood, the school, the society around us, the whole town, the village, and all the community. And just like the air around the sapling, we also give our kids space and opportunities to grow their gifts so that they can expand. I want my kids to grow within an aligned community where they are supported to go after their dreams. And our capacity as parents also plays a role. We need to show up right, to be involved, to be good role models. All of these are very important. So this is the simple framework I follow to know what my kids really need in the moment. I focus on these three main buckets. Number one, their holistic well-being. How are they doing at all levels? Number two, their authentic identity. Who are they becoming? And three, their aligned community. How are their surroundings supporting them? Now, notice these three are interrelated. You can't split them from each other, but when I organize them like that, it's easier for me to see the big picture and move out of overwhelm. And what I do is I ask these three questions that I just stated, and I listen to my inner guidance on what's best for my kids in the current moment. I take my time, I pause, and I connect to my inner guidance. I really listen to what my motherly intuition is telling me. And I receive the answers. I come up with a list that I need to attend to. Some things might be urgent now and I need to really look at it. Some things might be really subtle. They will not be showing directly in my face, but when I pause when I take my time, I can see them. And I really realized that everything related to my kids' needs can fit under these three buckets. And of course, all of them are important. They are all equally important. So that was my point of view on how I approach this question. What do my teens really need? What do my kids really need? Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed learning about my point of view. I'm Nadine, the Teen Soul Coach. Until next time.